Hello everyone, this is V.5 and welcome to the Cobra Command Central toy review. And today's toy review, we're looking at the 2010 release by Hasbro of the G.I. Joe Pursuit of Cobra toy review. And today's toy review, we're looking at the Cobra HISS tank version 5. Now I got this straight from my toy shop near my area, which actually priced for 119 ringgit and 90 cents. But the shop owner actually gave me a discount for 115 ringgit instead, which is not bad. A bit of discount. Now, the entire packaging for the Pursuit of Cobra is very nicely done. It looks very modern and very sci-fi at the same time. You notice this entire nicely done artwork displayed in the front here. The artwork is very detailed stuff. All the panels, all the logos are drawn, all the mud or sand or debris being, well, tiny little bits of details are being drawn all over the packaging itself. You've got two nice little explosions at the back here, one explosion at the back here as well. Two, Rise of Cobra, there's a Vipers. Very nice. And at the top here, you've got a nice little gunship. It's actually the G.I. Joe Dragonhawk gunship flying above the sky. Here is stated dual attack mode, stating on this two weapons, the minigun and the missile launcher. Now on the side here, you get the see-through packaging of the Cobra HISS tank driver. Now let's take a look at the side of the packaging itself. You got a nice little artwork of the Cobra HISS tank driver. On the side, just a partial image of the HISS tank on the top, and at the bottom, file card of the HISS tank driver. Cobra HISS tank drivers are the most highly trained and aggressive drivers in the Cobra ranks. They have to be. They are the controls of one of the most sophisticated and destructive ground weapons in the world. They unleash the full force of this new weapon in the desert battle against the G.I. Joe team. Mission equipment, J-36 short burst laser weapon. And on the side here, 2222 HD. No idea what the HD stands for, and I hope it's not high definition. It has a very nice image at the back here to show the Cobra HISS tank being displayed with the Cobra HISS tank driver. Nice little diorama at the back as well. There's a nice little cave on one side here and a shack on the other side. Very nicely done. Even there's an antenna at the top. Very nice diorama. Now there's very simplistic text speculation there, stating spinning Gatling gun, as shown on the top, firing cannon, which is actually a pulse cannon as described on top here, elevating 360 degrees attack position, and a working tread. Now on this side here, you notice there's interchangeable weapons. You can actually interchange with the missile launcher. You can interchange with the minigun, but you won't be able to connect with the, well, belt feet. At the bottom here, opening front and rear cockpits, and at the bottom here, moving treads. Now you also notice there's two different type of colors on the HISS tank itself. This is more dull green and this is more in black. Not too sure why. Anyways, I already babbled long enough. Without further ado, let's open up this packaging so we can molest the toy. Be right back. And we're back of the removing figure and the rest of the stuff out from packaging. Now, it comes with an instruction manual on how to assemble the HISS tank, which is really simplistic. And the HISS tank driver just falls. And the bottom, the gimmick itself, where you press a button on the top and a spring lift the body upwards. Very nicely done. And at the back there's also a button to, well, allow you to swing those two weapons. And the back of the instruction manual is where to place all the stickers. And speaking of the stickers, this is the amount of stickers you're going to put on this vehicle. And a lot of people who bought this had this issue where you build the entire HISS tank itself and then place the stickers. This is what we grew up with. Problem is, there's a lot of these stickers that a lot of them are very tiny, and a lot of them who built this HISS tank have a problem trying to place the stickers in some certain part of the areas itself, especially on the cockpit or on the back portion itself. So my advice to you, don't assemble it first, place the stickers. It will save you a lot of trouble. Now you notice I didn't even bother to assemble the HISS tank because I prefer to paint it first. You'll notice that the entire HISS tank itself This is just pure plastic. It's not even painted, and the only thing that's painted is this red part here and the button in the back, and that's about it. There's no paint job. This is the front part of the cockpit itself, the back part. Everything is not painted. So I'll leave it on one side first. Let's take a look at the figure itself. The figure comes with a few accessories. First, you have this very uninspiring, unpainted Cobra Staff. Not too sure why a HISS tank driver would actually carry a Cobra Staff. Nicely detailed stuff. I really love the details, but same kind of plastic material. It's not painted at all, so it's not really inspiring. So I may want to paint this to make it look much more better. Oh, and another thing is, the staff has a tendency, you can't actually have the figure hold the staff on the left hand. Maybe on the right hand, yes, but the left hand is a bit too, the fingers are way too closed in to hold this. Maybe on the handles, but as you can see, the handles are very thin, so you don't want to end up breaking the handles. Next, you have this Colt pistol. Unlike what is stated in the character card, this is not a high-tech weapon. It's just a Colt pistol, but nicely detailed, and he can hold it on his right hand. Has a problem holding on his left hand, and both hands actually have trigger fingers. Problem is, the fingers itself can't even fit into the trigger hole. You know, just it's way too small. Can still hold it. Next, we have this backpack, which is actually not bad. It's a nicely detailed stuff. Not too sure what's at the back of the hole meant for. You notice there's a hole there. Not too sure what this is meant for. And you can actually put it at the back of the figure. Now, the figure itself, granted the paint job is actually reminiscent to the 25th anniversary HISS tank driver. Problem is, the red is a bit more darker compared to the 25th anniversary version. This is more darker. Now, there's nothing remotely new with the sculpt. This is the same old sculpt of the 25th anniversary G.I. Joe figures. Head is the same of the old HISS tank driver. However, the body and the legs, torso itself, is exactly the same from the Cobra Commander's battle armor body or the Iron Grenadier's body. So it's not very inspiring. Now, the chest armor here is actually from the comic pack Resolute Destro's armor. So it's just a mismatch of Franken body. Nothing new there. Not very inspiring, not very impressive. I like the paint job. Paint job is actually not bad. It's very nicely detailed. Let's take a look at the articulation. The head actually can turn 360 degrees. Pivot the head up a little bit, down a little bit. Shoulders here turn 360 degrees. Raise the arms that far. Elbow joint can bend this far and back a little bit. Turn 360 degrees. Wrist joint here can turn 360 degrees. Now you notice it has a torso joint and would not hinder when you turn it, because the chest armor is not connected to the belt itself. However, it has a problem trying to pivot back and forth because it is hindered at the belt there. The hip joint can actually move forward, backwards, sides, double jointed knee, nicely done. Ankle joint can pivot downwards or all the way down and upwards and turn 360 degrees. So overall, it's a not bad figure. It's just not really that impressive. There's no new sculpt there. It's the same old mold. That's all my honest opinion. If I'm going to give a rating out of it, it's like 5 out of 10. Now I'm going to put this one side first. Let's take a look at the details of the HISS tank itself. The HISS tank details are really impressive. Really impressive. Of course, it's not assembled. I just want to show you guys what the entire thing is. The final product will be at the end of the video. Now you notice all the interior is very nicely detailed stuff. Too bad the entire thing is not painted at all. It's really uninspiring. There's the button on the top. Where you press the button on the top, you notice this part here moving. Yeah, because this is the body itself. You connect on the top part here, and then this is spring loaded, of course. So when it closes like this, and when you press the button on the top, it's pop, right so. And there's the back button to show the two guns. And there's another cockpit at the back. nicely done. I'm going to put this one aside. This is the body, also not painted. You got the tank treads, finally rubber treads, and this 3 wheels actually move. Very nicely done. The wheels actually move. Very nice. The back here, very nicely done. Really love the tank treads. And then you got the cockpit itself, the hatches, the back hatch comes with this handle. Very loose though, notice. Very loose. But still nice. Nicely done with all the details. Next we have all this stuff that came from the Maggie itself. You got the missile launcher. And this is the only thing that's painted. The minigun actually spins. But you notice there's some deformity there. This is not straight at all. And if I tilt it like so, it's going upwards. It's strange. You got the control handles. Very nicely detailed stuff, but the bottom is not actually covered. You got the belt feet, which also not painted. The missile itself. I wonder how it goes. Oh, there's the button. I load it and I shoot. Wow, that's packed quite a punch. The spring is quite a tight. You got the bottom part of the turret itself, which is also deformed. You notice it's sort of deformed on this part, and the bottom part is all empty. You got this wires, tubings to plug onto the HISS tank itself. Nicely done. Grill for the back part, and that's about it. Next, we're gonna assemble it. Be right back. And we're back after fully assembling the entire HISS tank and painting it. It took me a few hours. Now you'll notice the entire HISS tank itself is immense due to the width of the HISS tank itself. Let's do a size comparison with the classic HISS tank. You notice this guy is actually taking more space, especially on the width of the tank treads itself. Now you notice the Cobra HISS tank driver staff can actually plug onto this hole here, onto the other side of the hole itself, and there are a couple of holes on the sides for you to plug in the weapons. Now the front part of the weapon itself can actually move left and right like so. The cockpit can be risen upwards to see the entire figure there. And the inside cockpit was the instruction manual mentioned. You can store another figure there. The inside cockpit actually controls the weapon on top, and the weapons, you notice the button here can actually swivel the guns like so. Now once this HISS tank is in its attack mode like so, it is very tall, and the entire body itself can actually turn 360 degrees. Very, very impressive. However, the bottom part of the clip itself, this section here that clips this section, is not very secure, and sometimes when you try to open the cockpit, the entire thing will spring upwards. The tank treads actually move like so, but it's a bit tight. Very nice. See? I'm not even touching the button and it's just springing upwards. And the back here, the two tubings you notice is actually a cable to hook onto another vehicle to tow with. The Sentry HISS tank, the smaller scope, just the tank treads. Very nicely done. So overall, if I'm going to give a rating out of this, I would say without the paint job, it looks very, well, it's nice with all the entire details and mold of the HISS tank itself, but without the paint job, it looks very uninspiring. So if I'm going to give a rating out of this, I'm just going to give it a 6 out of 10. But of course, with the paint job, there's a huge difference. Now I can give it a 9 out of 10, of course. It looks way more better right now. So I thank you all for watching. This is Lucy 05 and I'm signing off.